Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Clashing Conferences podcast proudly presents to you the Five Fingers to the Face podcast. Let's go. How we doing, boys?
Good.
What up? What up?
Yo.
We have the full roster on display tonight. I am very excited. We have a lot to talk about. We've already been talking, actually. We just decided to start hitting record. We might have a special guest tonight. We might not. If we do, you'll be surprised. If we don't, I guess you won't be surprised, but it'll be fine. Anyways, so if you're wondering where Rick Ramone is at, Matt doesn't gamble, but Rick does, and he might have put his house on the Celtics. And as you can see now, Rick is homeless. So, okay, thank you. So, yes, I am not being held hostage, but thank you, Celtics. I don't have a home now as a result. Anyways, moving on. So, you boys want to hear about our sponsors?
Yeah, bring it.
You guys want to hear me spell their names, even though we don't have to?
Yeah,
No, I want to hear Mike Randler spell their names.
Better you than me.
I want to hear
I wasn't
Cody.
gonna do it anyways. But
No, don't you put that on me.
I always love starting with this one because it's so near and dear to my heart. I can't wait for this person to cut my hair and make me look even more handsome. I didn't even know it would be possible, but I know it is when you're in the hands of Lean. Anybody know where that is, boys?
Borrow.
Borrow Hair Studio in
Lancaster, not Lancaster. It's Lancaster. Come on, you people.
Lancaster,
Pennsylvania.
Sorry, they can't enunciate in Pennsylvania, but it's Lancaster. All right,
Sure.
Let's try that.
I've been saying it wrong this whole yikes on bikes. But I have been saying Sparrow Hair Studio correct this entire time. So if you ever need a nice cut, you know who to go see. Go see Lean. Tell her Clashing Conferences sent you, and she will take care of you. Any of you boys get a 3D chain? I swear on everything, I actually had a dream I got one. So I guess I have to get one now. I legitimately was looking, and I go, wait, that was a dream. So have any of you boys gotten one yet?
Not yet. It's on the list.
I actually went on the website the other day, and it said he was traveling for work. I was like, oh.
But when we all order ours, and I'm going to, even though the Celtics are not doing good, I'm a real fan. I'm going to get one from Lotwin. Duh. Anybody want to spell it? Psych, we're not doing that. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you need a custom 3D chain to rep your team, reach out to Lotwin, hit them up, use the code TCCPOD, and you will actually get 10% off. I think I lied last week and said 15%. So apologies, Lotwin. I did not mean to do that. It was 10%. So Lotwin, 3D chains, go see him. Clash of Conferences Center. Boys, you ready to talk?
I guess so.
All right, Patty. Actually, let's lead off with Patty's idea. I like structure. I like format. We're trying to put something new together here. This is a team thing. So, Patty, share with everybody what you did off camera.
All right. So what we're going to do, hypothetically, there's 5 of us on the podcast, and maybe we can have our producer, Steve, hop on for what his pick would be. We'll see. So it would make 6 of us, which would make a traditional elimination chamber. Everyone's going to nominate one wrestler all time. Could be any era, any style. You'll put them in the elimination chamber, and then at the end, we'll kind of discuss, what that would look like or who hypothetically would win said elimination chamber.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Great idea. Love it.
There's so many options.
So many options.
Present company excluded, right? We can't pick ourselves. I can't throw Cody in there.
No, I would say it's got to be. I'd say it's got to be someone that has at least been in the WWE in some capacity. So I guess even if it was a celebrity like Mr. T, who had his little couple weeks in the WWE is fine, or any wrestling promotion, I guess, since we're non-exclusive. But we'll keep it to wrestlers. I believe should be the plan here.
All right. Who's going first?
Go ahead, Cody. Lead us off.
I'm going to go with Sting.
Which Sting?
NWO Sting. Red and black.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say which era.
That's not because Loserville. Okay. I shouldn't even have picked that, but I'll go with it. But That was my favorite Sting. So don't get any ideas, Loserville fans. It wasn't
All right, so Cody's putting Sting in.
I would just like to say really quick on behalf of myself to all the people in Louisville that if I do come out to visit Cody, I will have to fly through Louisville Airport. And this host does not share the same views and thoughts and opinions as some of the analysts here on the show.
I will protect you with all my blue might.
Are you going to be drawing heat? Anyways, all right. Who's next?
Why don't you go, Matt?
What? Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, I have to be near and dear to my heart. I'm going Bret Hart.
Ooh.
Interesting.
You know Bret's not playing around. He's going to go in there and start just being real technical on people, and he's just. I mean, I don't know. I know. I don't know. Bret Hart, man, he's the real deal.
All right.
Solid pick.
So we got Bret. We got Bret and we got Sting. Trey, who you bringing to the table?
Give me Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh.
I love that pick.
Give me Latino heat.
Wild pick. Wow.
Bring it. All-time favorite.
Love it.
Bring it.
Because he's going to lie, cheat, and steal. I love it.
Yeah.
Bring it. Eddie Guerrero can take anybody.
That is a wild pick. How tall was Eddie Guerrero?
5'8", 5'9", something like that.
He was listed at like 5'11", though, but you know how that works.
But just imagine him frog splashing off the top of one of the chambers onto somebody.
Do you guys remember when they came over? It might have been one of the first times when they came to a WWE event, you know, and they were like all dressed up, kind of doing a reverse NWO. Do you remember that? And he did the frog splash and shattered his forearm.
Yeah.
And you watched it happen. And then he was just like, ah!
Yeah, he was crazy, man.
Yeah, I love that pick. I love that pick, Trey.
Hey,
you want to hop on for a minute here and give us your pick while you're tossing around?
Pick the Hornets.
Hornets.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh man, good pick.
Now, give me Undertaker, man.
Give
me Undertaker. That's a foolproof pick. No matter which event, what you're doing, Undertaker's foolproof.
Yeah. Eddie Guerrero, Undertaker, my all-time favorites. Those two.
Has Taker ever been in an Elimination Chamber? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I can't say.
Pretty sure
Which
no.
actually surprises me.
Mm-hmm. Really, though.
The last, I will add top 5 theme song all time in my top 5 favorite. Probably not top 5 best in my opinion, but top 5 favorite. I'm going to add One of a Kind, Rob Van Dam into the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, similar pick. I like it.
I like it.
Back-to-back frog splashes.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well, based on the roster that you guys put together, I was going to go with the American Badass Undertaker, but since Steve took Undertaker, I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels in any pay-per-view event will steal the show. So I'm going Shawn Michaels. He has a rivalry with the Taker. He has rivalry with Bret Hart. I think you could get some good. Yeah, man, you could get some good storylines out of that Elimination Chamber for sure.
Yeah, I was really close to picking Kurt Angle, but I went with Rob. I was real close to picking Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt would probably beat the crap out of everybody, Pat. You're right.
With a broken freaking neck.
Yeah. Well, because that was going to be my follow-up
thing is when he came out with the milk truck.
Yeah,
he didn't come out with the beer truck, but he had the milk truck, and he was spraying people with the milk.
I'm gonna keep it PG-13, so I'll let people connect the dots here. So I know that we all love Kurt Angle, but there was also the latter version, maybe known by an alias of Jerk Angle.
Yes.
That man was wild. That man was doing jumping front flips off of the stage and landing and just getting right up like it was nothing. He was bonkers. So I don't even know how that man can walk at this point in his life. Like
he really can't. If you've ever seen him on YouTube right now, he really can't walk.
No. Speaking of Kurt Angle, do you guys think that Chad Gable is just like a ripoff, like Wish version of
It's Timu Kurt Angle. That's what it is.
It's ridiculous.
Timu.
Yeah, but I like him as that. What's his like lucha nickname?
El Grande.
Grande Americano. Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
That's
So
a
here would
good.
be my question. We know the roster. Who's the first one out in that elimination chamber?
Maybe. Oh, I don't know. It's almost between RVD and Sting, really. I'm going to be.
I think RVD
You
gets
know,
eliminated first. I do. I think RVD gets eliminated. Maybe he gets eliminated by Sting. I don't know.
yeah. I just think it's not hardcore enough, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like RVD is more of an open ring kind of guy. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. That's a good point.
You
That's
think
just
that, I guess this is all hypothetical, but like, you really think that Bret Hart could have hung in there in an elimination chamber?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. So, scrolling on Instagram the other day, you know how sometimes they'll take somebody narrating a story and they'll put animation behind it. So, Jake the Snake was telling a quick story of how one day him and Bret Hart were hanging out, and there was a knock at the door, and it was Stu Hart. And so they started arguing about sleeper holds. And Stu said, "I know 7 sleeper holds, and and mine are all the best, and I'll show you." And then he went over to Bret and he slapped a sleeper hold on him and knocked him out and dropped him on the floor, and then went and just woke him up. And then he got, and then he and choked him out again and threw him back down on the ground. And Jake the Snake said it stopped being funny after about the third one. And Bret just kept, blah, and Stu kept, what? Slap it. That's how he grew up. They had a bear under their porch. Yeah, I think Bret will be just fine.
I guess the hypothetical here is who's writing the script, Vince or Triple H?
It's
Right.
true. If it's Vince,
Yeah.
Bret Hart doesn't even make it into the match.
No.
It's fought outside the elimination chamber, never makes it in the cell. Vince does.
Exactly.
So yeah, Bret is out. You're right. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think Eddie Guerrero gets knocked down and he just hides in a corner pretending like he's knocked out because that's part of his MO, right? He's lie, cheat, steal.
Yep.
So he's gonna
Play to
sit
win
in the
the
corner.
game.
Exactly.
Play to
Or
win
he
the
goes
game.
back in the doors, like he reshuts the doors on himself. Like
He locks
when the
himself
doors
back.
open, he like reshuts them and sits in the cell.
Well, and it's the
I could
perfect
see that.
scenario then, right? You get the iconic Sting versus the iconic Undertaker in the middle of the ring. They're
The
squaring
match
off.
we should have gotten.
Right.
The match we should have gotten a couple of years ago.
They're standing there
Yes.
the crowd's going nuts, and then Shawn Michaels super kicks them both. Right? And then Eddie Guerrero sneaks over and pins one of them. Maybe he pins Sting. So
I agree. I could see that.
Apologies, boys. I'm just sending off something. I'm not disrespecting Mar. I'm listening.
I get it. Bret
now it
Hart's
makes
out,
me-
so you're not even paying attention anymore. I get it.
You're
now
not
it
wrong.
makes me want to get on WWE 2K25 and put all this into a simulation just to see who would win. Now that's
Well, now
probably
you
gonna be
guys-
my nightly chore.
You're gonna have homework because next week we may start discussing our Mount Rushmores. But that's going to be like every week, someone's going to have to get their time to have their, you know what I mean? Because you might sway somebody. You never know. You might say something that someone hadn't thought about either. So we're gonna every week we'll roll it out. So yeah, the Mount Rushmore question. Woo, that one.
I think we gotta determine the
That'll-
criteria, right?
Yeah.
There's a ton of criteria that go into that because there's a Mount Rushmore for who you like the best, impactful. You know what I mean? So I think we gotta outline the criteria to make sure we're all aligned.
I agree with that.
Kyle, it doesn't matter how many times you say criteria, Cody's not going to understand it, okay? You
Hey,
think that was
I know what criteria is. All right. I know what criteria is.
It's not the
It's
cafeteria.
not related to bacteria, Cody. It's not criteria and bacteria, okay?
Dang it.
My man said Eddie Guerrero.
How are you going to hate on Eddie Guerrero?
No, I'm
love
just
him.
flabbergasted that somebody said his name.
I laughed. I'm not gonna lie because that was not one of anybody's name I ever thought I would hear.
No.
So that was like surprise.
Sneaker
It surprised me.
Yeah, good. Sneaky.
I'm not mad at Eddie.
Sneaky in an elimination chamber too. Sneaky in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Loved him.
I hated him as a kid. I did. I hated
Yeah, well,
Eddie Guerrero.
he hated
as a
you.
kid.
I mean, it checks out. It checks out. We get it. It checks out.
That's
As soon as you
understandable.
said Eddie Guerrero, Trey, I almost said JBL just because I would love to see the interaction between JBL and Eddie Guerrero in an elimination chamber.
Can I change mine to Sue Hart?
This is gonna make everyone pass out.
You
I
imagine
thought Matt
growing
was
up?
going to pick Doink the Clown.
Imagine growing up in that household and your dad's like, "I got 7 sleeper holds. I'll choke you out, kid." That's crazy.
Oh, that's pretty
You want to know
dishes.
who was like one of like my favorite wrestlers growing up, and nobody ever talks about him? It was Ahmed Johnson.
funny.
Anybody know who that is?
Oh yeah, Pro
Yeah.
Plunge.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna say no.
I have no
Ahmed
idea
Johnson
why,
was
but
awesome.
I always loved him.
Dude, he was big and powerful. He just like he was like that big guy that you just looked at and you're like, he could whoop somebody's ass, man. Because like
He was black. He was
he
black
looked like
Brock
in real.
Lesnar.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
He looked like in real
Yeah.
life he would kill somebody. Like outside of the wrestling ring, he would rip somebody's head off for real. You know, he had that look
I
on
guess
his face.
behind the scenes, it was like him. He was kind of like the Ultimate Warrior. Like he was like stiff. So as a wrestler, it was hard for the wrestlers to wrestle with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Chris
No.
Masters.
Ooh,
Chris Masters.
wow,
The Master
Master Lock.
Master
That
Lock.
should be on the CCP Olympics list. Should be breaking the Master Lock.
Ooh,
And hey, did we have any Virgil fans? Was anybody a fan of Virgil?
Bro,
was.
that is, bro.
Yeah. I was, dude. Seriously,
Really?
when he finally turned on DiBiase, it was fantastic.
I
mean-
don't know. I know Trey heard me, but I said Eugene. And funny fact is, Eugene is from Louisville, actually.
Yeah, but what version of Eugene? Like superhero Eugene or like dumbed down Eugene?
Dumbed down Eugene.
I got you.
From Louisville.
Oh.
With the big poofy hair.
Yeah. Man, I remember getting his freaking action figure for Christmas, and I was so excited. Like
For
that was like the
Eugene.
best. Yes, man. Oh god, Eugene was the bomb.
You still have it?
Actually, I do.
Hey, you guys,
It sits
you guys
on my
remember
bedstand.
when the WWF was like trying to mock Goldberg when WCW was like at its pinnacle
Gilbert.
and they were fighting?
Yep.
Yeah, they had a Goldberg.
Gilbert.
Yep.
Gilbert.
Yeah,
He would come in
Gilbert.
and like he would swat at the
Yep.
sparks.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was good era, man.
He walked into I think it was a King of the Ring or something. It was one of the elimination ones where it's like you get over the ropes, you're out. I forget what was that one called?
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Yeah, I'm sorry, Royal Rumble. And like he kept walking down, he entered in, he was doing his stuff, like trying to swat the sparks away. He stepped into the ring and they threw him right out. Like he didn't even like make it in a second.
Santino Marella stuff right there.
Yep.
Oh,
Hilarious.
y'all ever heard this? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because can we have a quick discussion of that? They've had 2 Royal Rumbles end where the guys have actually had their feet touch. Oh, I didn't mean to swear. Sorry, Steve. Where their feet touch at the exact same time, but like how do you practice that?
You can't.
Yeah.
There's no way.
And they did it twice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a
Crazy, isn't
mess
it?
up almost.
I think the first one with Cena and Batista was a mess up. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, Vince tore both his quads.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy.
And then what? Brett and Luger, right?
Yep.
And that was like the first time they did like instant replay in wrestling. They were like,
Yep.
I did like
and everyone else
like
was like,
Luger.
boom, same time, boom, same time. How?
Lexi. Hogan used to call him Lexi.
Yep.
I love how like every year they get creative on when somebody gets eliminated, but their feet don't touch, and then they get back in the ring. It's like every year they try something different. It's they start walking
Kofi
on the
Kingston was the
hands.
king of
Kofi
that,
Kingston.
man.
Yeah.
Or like
Or that-
Penta getting eliminated. They're like, oh, only 1 foot touched the floor. He's fine. Get back in there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
clearly
come
both
on.
touched. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you know what I love is when somebody gets eliminated and they just rampage and they get back in the ring anyway because like it doesn't matter, and then they start chucking people out. Like
They throw other people out and they're eliminated. Like, how does that work? You're eliminated, but then you could still eliminate other people. It's crazy.
and then JR's on the mic. He's like, "But he's already been eliminated. I don't understand why he's in the middle of the ring."
My God.
Hellfire and brimstone.
Oh,
That's gotta be
God.
Kane.
Is-
Best announcer of all time. Greatest announcer
I was
of
gonna
all
say
time.
what's the best duo of
Hands-
all time? Because I
Duo.
say King and JR,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Him and
Yeah,
King,
Jerry
I
Lawler
think.
and JR for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
As far as
I mean,
announcers
Gorilla.
go,
I
think he
will
could
say,
top
God,
it.
that man has a family.
Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan back in the day were pretty good too.
yeah.
if you're talking about announcers, Lawler and the other guy,
JR, yeah, because they had the best era. Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
JR is just flat out the GOAT. I think of like any announcer of any sport.
Yes.
Yep. He
That
got better. I think he got better after his Bell's palsy. Like he was really good after his Bell's palsy. You know?
He's still good in AEW.
Yeah.
He's still
He is.
alive.
I like Pat McAfee, too.
Yeah. He's alive.
JR's cooking, man. He's got a podcast. He's got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he's doing like they're saying. He's
Oh,
He got his
jeez.
barbecue sauce.
uh-huh.
He's loving life,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's
Grilling
probably
with
delicious.
JR.
It's probably
Uh-huh.
delicious.
I think if Pat McAfee sticks with it, he might be up there. Not as good, but I think Pat McAfee's hilarious when he's commentating.
It's so hard for me to take Pat serious as a wrestling
Yes.
announcer when I listen to his show and
Yeah.
know what he's about. So it's very hard for me to separate Pat McAfee as a WWE announcer and as like him just being the troll that I know he is.
I'll tell you what,
I
though.
find that hard sometimes.
I give him credit for hopping in the ring with Gunther, man. He was taking those chops
Yeah.
and
Oh, those chops were nasty.
man, he popped his blood vessel in his eye because he slapped him so hard.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Vince really was an amazing commentator too. Let's all be real.
Yeah.
He was,
Yep.
Absolutely.
He got it through.
Vince and Jesse the
era.
Body Ventura were good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, they won. Oh, it was
Yep.
so
See,
good.
I was a little too young to ever get Vince as a commentator, but Vince's mic work is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I just watched the old clips of the old matches and stuff. That's how I've heard McMahon on the mic as a commentator, and it was fantastic.
Dude, it was
I love the
great.
feud.
McMahon and the commentator, like I think his voice really makes the '90s wrestling what it was.
Uh-huh.
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's something about at least for me, like you didn't really put two and two together that he was the owner and like how heavily involved he was. He was just like the voice of the wrestling matches. And then you
The
see like
feud.
the role switches and they get actual really good commentators. And when we were talking about JR and Lawler, and then this guy just immerses himself into the script. And like, I mean, I didn't watch the documentary to know all the bad stuff about him, but that man was a genius.
it was,
Yeah, it was
it was
rough
worth the
one.
watch.
That was
It
a
was worth the
fantastic
watch.
documentary. He was a freak.
Who remembers when he came out in the tank top for the first time and you were like,
Yes.
He was all swole. He was all
All
big.
puff chest, swinging his arms.
Yeah.
That was
oh
great.
my goodness.
Him and Stone Cold's feud. That's like one of the most memorable things in the 90s, I feel like.
I
was
think that
just-
saved wrestling. I think it saved wrestling
Yes.
in the 90s. I think it really did.
He knew
You
he had to
waited.
do something big.
Yep.
Everybody loved to be able to watch somebody show up and punch their boss in the face every week. You know, like everybody just ate that up.
Living the dream.
I agree. Yep.
You know my favorite wrestling meme is that like me and my friends still talk about all the time. Or like if you're having a bad day and it'd be like, imagine having a bad day at work and you just show up and your boss is like, and it's Teddy Long and he goes, and guess what, playa? Now you have a cage match against the Undertaker tonight.
I forgot about Teddy Long.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me, but now that I watch old wrestling, like when I was watching, I didn't notice, but he was a ref. I didn't know it for the longest time. And then I started looking, I'm like, no way, that's not him. And I was like, there it is.
He was a manager back in WCW, like NWA at WCW back in the day. He was involved with Ron Simmons and that group, that tag team that they had back in WCW, and then when he went to WWF, he was a ref for like a decade before he became like a behind the scenes guy and everything. So, but yeah, he actually was a wrestler too back in the day, like back in like the early '80s, he was a wrestler.
I think that's when SmackDown was the best, when he was their GM. That
Yeah.
dude SmackDown was the best.
Yep.
And Vicky.
Yeah.
When it was him and Vicky
Guerrero.
combined.
That son of a. Who was it that she was dating? What was it? Edge?
Edge, right?
Edge.
Yeah.
Edge. They were married.
What a love story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and do you remember the Edge and Matt Hardy with Lita thing? Like,
Yeah.
I
Right in
thought
the
that
middle.
was. I thought it was all storyline, and then you find out years later that
No.
that all that shit was real, and like they really
And
hated each other.
Vince is like,
was
let's put this
hey,
shit on TV.
We can use that.
Yeah.
Vince was like, hey, use that tape.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy.
Put the bet in the ring. Put the bet in the ring.
It's crazy to
Yes.
hear the stories on how that all transpired and went down. It's like, wow, backstabbing right there at its finest, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, man, that was nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right, so look, we got Eddie Guerrero, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels left in the Elimination Chamber. Who wins?
Eddie Guerrero.
I think we get like a big moment, like Taker's down. We get Eddie on top of the cage, and we get like one of those Shelton Benjamin moments where he goes to frog splash off the top of the cage,
And he gets
Michael
super
suplex
kick.
him in the middle of it and bangs him with sweet chin music. Like
Sweet chin.
So Eddie gets eliminated, and then it's down to Shawn and Taker.
Taker Michaels.
I like it.
But like you said, though, Michaels takes over a pay-per-view. I feel like, I don't know, though. It's hard to put the dead man down. Yeah, it's.
I feel like it's their WrestleMania match all over. I feel like Taker gives him like 8 tombstones, and he keeps kicking out, and then he finally choke slams him straight to hell, and finally beats him because he won't give up.
Tombstones him through the Elimination Chamber or something.
Yeah. The whole thing collapses.
Yeah.
So, since you guys have me on here talking about like my past and my love of wrestling, was there a better dynamic duo between two wrestlers and storyline than Austin and The Rock when they were going through their feud? Now it's hard because they're like
during
two
my
of the
time.
greatest wrestlers of all time and their characters, but specifically their time together when they were feuding and fighting each other.
What's your
that was just
criteria? That's what I mean.
incredible.
What's your criteria? Just like they feuded, they talked, they fought.
Yeah, that time period where they were like battling each other, going through all the matches, like I feel them two, like that was like the greatest like rivalry between any two wrestlers at any point in wrestling history.
The only one that comes close for me, Steve, I think that's number one, but the only one that comes close for me is like 05 to 08 Cena versus Edge. Like that would be the only one that comes to mind where I'm like, the mic work was perfect, the believability was perfect. Like I still think it's Rock Austin, but that's the only other one where I look at it, I'm like, okay, I could throw this in there.
All right, so I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm going to be the old head of the group. Listen, none of that would have happened if it wouldn't have been for Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair back in the late '80s. If they paved the way for the mic work and the rivalries to start. So if you had the production that you had with Austin and Rock back then, that would have been a movie. That would have been an absolute movie. That was straight cinema for like 9 months. And like you had the rich boy and nature boy Ric Flair, and then you had the blue collar worker, every man's dream of the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. Like fat guy versus a guy that's in shape. You know what I mean? Like it was actually perfect. And I think their mic work back then was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I'm not
Hard times, man. Look it up. Look up the promo. I'm sure you guys all have, but look up the promo with Hard Times with Dusty Rhodes.
They're amazing. He's got the glasses and the red Arbox and the beanie and the oh my god, and the perm and the Shirley Temple.
Dude, it was, and my dad was he worked at the steel mill, and then he had a plumbing business on the side. So it was like he was a son of a plumber. I was like, I'm a son of a plumber. I can relate to that. I know what he's talking about. I hate rich people too. I don't got no money.
Steve, another thing that's like a little fun fact, I guess, that's why Stone Cold will never be beat for me is, so I didn't get to go, but my dad is He's an audio engineer, so basically he works soundboards at like our local arena and stuff like that. So he's worked some pretty big time bands. He's gotten to meet bands and stuff like that. But he also would work wrestling when they would come to town.
Ooh.
And they put him on the camera, like when they were there, because he knew how to use the camera and everything like that. So my dad is the cameraman when Stone Cold brings out the beer truck. That's in Albany, New York.
Holy shit.
Truck. So my dad is like, you can't really see him, but he's literally one of the cameramen following Stone Cold in and out of the arena during the beer truck moment. That's in Albany, New York.
You got pictures of that?
Awesome.
It's awesome.
No, because my dad.
It was aired publicly,
like,
Kyle.
No,
I was probably only like 3 or 4 when it happened. So like I kind of knew about wrestling, but I wasn't like big into it. My dad was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna go work wrestling." And then 10 years later, he's like, when I got into wrestling, he's like, "Hey, like that's like that was in Albany, right?" I'm like, "Oh no, I had no idea." Like
that was
so
me.
Cameraman didn't have a camera.
I mean, he had the camera for the show. He didn't have a camera for. It's not like he was taking a selfie, like, "Hey, here's me with the WWE camera about to get Stone Cold coming out on the beer truck."
It was the disposable guy.
It was a disposable.
Yeah.
He pulled out his Nokia
selfies.
and took a selfie.
Same though.
That's awesome, Patty.
That's a great story.
Cool.
The next big moment is actually like, it's weird. I don't know why Albany always gets picked for these things, but actually we're talking about the Elimination Chamber. The first Elimination Chamber is at New Year's Resolution in Albany, where an Edge cashed in the first Money in the Bank on Cena in Albany.
Yep. Yeah, Cena was all bloodied and all jacked up.
Who has not gone? I'm gonna go last. Who has not gone?
Cody and Trey.
Steal it.
For what? The rivalry question?
Yeah.
I'm going
I
Stone
think-
Cold and Rock.
Yeah. I think that's hands down the answer. I was always a fan of like DX versus Vince. I like that.
It's fun.
I like that era. I'm trying to think back, like
What was the one? When they were it was like or what was it? Shane McMahon and like Big Boss Man, and then it was well, oh my God, I can't think
corporation?
of it now. Is it the corporation? That's it.
They were all
Corporation, and that little thing that was cool, and you had the Undertaker with them. Like that was a weird fit, Viscera and all that. That was
like
cool.
30 people.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, and dude, classify Taker and Mankind.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
look, that's some of the greatest matches of all time for sure.
I wouldn't
Yes.
say it's a rivalry.
I'm gonna give mine. Because I haven't heard anybody say it, and I'm okay. Ready? And I have a lot of reasons why, but mine is, and I'm gonna be partial again. It's Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And here's a few reasons why. Number 1, that was real. Number 2, that was on camera. Number 3, they turned that into storylines where literally they were like, I'm not going to say it, but they were like saying F blank to each other's countries, like wiping their nose with each other's flags and stuff, like doing really egregious stuff. And then also when they did the Montreal screw job, that ushered in the era of DX and everything that came after, Stone Cold and Rock and Vince becoming a bad guy. All that happened because of that. So that's mine. I
agree with you. I was actually going to say that, like, if I had to pick a second one, it was going to be those two, and just
that sent everything on a different trajectory. Yeah, 100%.
It's just a favorite thing. It was just my age, the timing of wrestling. Those two. Bret Hart was incredible. Yeah, he was. Just
I got another one. I got another one. It's Patty's daughter and Sleep. That rivalry seems like it's going to go on forever right now.
It's not a rivalry. One of them is undefeated, and it's not Sleep. One of them is undefeated, and it ain't Sleep, folks.
That's
Ellie,
awesome.
say hi before I put you back on the couch.
It's
Say
like
hi.
the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
That should have never got broke. That should have never got
Not
broke.
by Lesnar.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
No, never. Never.
If Triple H or Shawn Michaels
broke.
didn't break it, then it shouldn't have been Brock Lesnar. After those matches that they had, like 3 years in a row, it was Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Like, if they didn't break it, it shouldn't have been broken by anybody else.
Oh, my bad, Kyle. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I have one hypothetical. Would you have been okay with Bray Wyatt breaking it?
No. It was too of an iconic thing that you just don't touch it. It's history. Don't touch it.
Yep. I agree with you.
I understand. I would rather Bray Wyatt than Brock, but I would still not be okay with it. Like that night, I was so mad. I was stupid.
Yeah. Like you said, that's something that couldn't be touched.
And the fact that he doesn't even remember the match.
Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, though?
The ref.
So I
like no.
I'm just saying, like it would have been one or the other, and I'm glad because Roman Reigns beat him 2 years later. So I'm glad that it was Brock and not Roman Reigns at that point. Roman Reigns
I
now
guess if you're
would have
looking
been a
at
different
it that
guy,
way.
but yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Roman Reigns fan at all. At all.
I'm not a big guy on Roman Reigns either.
I like him a lot better now than I did a couple years ago. Like when he beat the Undertaker, I didn't like that version of Roman Reigns where he was a big dog, but the tribal chief Roman Reigns, I like that swagger, man. I like that arrogance and cockiness.
I'll agree with that. You got me there. I'll agree with
the
that.
The only thing about Roman Reigns, and I'm pro Roman Reigns, but there was a time like when Kyle's talking about when he faced Undertaker, is that literally felt like every match was like fight, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, Superman punch, and you're like, the one knock I've had about WWE, and they've been better, but right before Vince left, is finishers don't mean what they used to mean. Like if you
Finishers
got
don't
hit with a
finish.
finisher 10, 20 years ago, you were done, period. And if you kicked out of a finisher that was like, oh my God, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Now, like WrestleMania matches have like 12 back and forth finishers before it's over.
Well, that's like what we talked about earlier with the Undertaker Shawn Michaels matchups, like in Triple H. When they kicked out of the Tombstone or when they kicked out of the Pedigree, like you were like, oh my God, this is the greatest WrestleMania match ever. Now it's like on Monday Night Raw, they kick out of 3 of them. You're like, does it matter anymore?
They must just not know how to do them anymore because back in the day, one leg drop from Hogan and you were out cold. There was no coming back.
Worst finisher of all time? Question mark.
Stuff.
Yep.
Worst finisher of all time?
Nah.
That's a good question, Patty. Who had the worst finisher of all time?
It might have been Hogan's leg drop.
Yeah. I think it is Hogan's leg drop.
Have you ever been
Ultimate Warrior? He just jumped on him.
Yeah, he would drop him behind him, and then he would jump on top of him. Like that was it. Listen, Hogan was a big guy. Dropping that big leg on your chest, it probably did knock the wind out of a lot of people. I'm just saying. I was a Hogan guy,
like
man.
Eugene and just stole everybody's.
My second follow up to worst finisher of all time would be after Big Show stopped doing choke slams and he just did that big fist
punch
where he would like fake punch you in the face.
That's and Roman Reigns with the Superman punch. It's so dumb.
I think the worst finisher for me was a Great Khali where he would just chop your head like that.
Yeah, the chop,
the Khali chop, like
or
that was
Umaga's Samoan spike.
Yeah,
or
I love
what about
the Samoan spike?
JBL's clothesline from hell? It was just
don't you talk bad about JBL's finisher. When he would hit somebody with that, they'd do like 3 backflips. That was unbelievable.
Struck a nerve there, Cody.
Yeah, I did.
What do you think the actual worst one was? Like again, like for example, I don't think you could fake Yokozuna sitting on you. So
or Rikishi stink face.
Remember when Earthquake would run to one side, run the other, and then he would just sit on your chest. Like that's all he would do. His genitalia would be right in your face, and he would just pin you for a count of 3. Like, that has to be the worst one. Has to be.
No.
Has to be.
Where's the pillow?
I will
Holy
say,
crap.
switching gears from the worst, but I always felt like Goldberg had like one of like the best finishers.
The jackhammer.
Well,
Yeah.
because
The way he would
he
just
didn't know
hold
how to
you
wrestle.
up.
He was actually spearing you.
Yeah.
Like he was actually tackling you.
Yeah, but like no, there was something about like the way he would just hold people straight up in the air for a minute, and like it was like a display. I don't know. It was
He was
beautiful.
just stone cold on Roy. Like they were like, it's
Yeah.
stone cold, and then they were just like super shredder, and he was like, I'm stone cold too.
The match we never got. The match we never really got in that would have been
Spider-Man versus Spider-Man.
yes,
Yeah.
like that would have been
Yeah.
amazing, man.
And they literally had the same. They were the same thing. They had bald. They had the goatee. They had
Yep.
black trunks. It was the same thing.
That couldn't happen because Goldberg would win, and that couldn't happen.
Whoa.
No, not even close.
No,
No.
Listen,
No.
I'm Austin. Goldberg, come on, Goldberg was Goldberg, man.
Goldberg has two moves.
Goldberg's not even touching Austin's jock strap.
Not even close.
He would
Goldberg
throw a
has two
beer at his
moves.
head while he ran at
Yeah.
him. Bing,
Gold-
hit him right in the dome. Knocked
You
him
guys
out.
have
Couldn't
seen
even
the-
open one of Steve Austin's beer.
You saw the documentary or like the video about that match with Regal, right? Where Regal just exposed Goldberg in WCW for wrestling. He wrestled him in a match on Nitro, and it was like a 8-minute match. And after 2 minutes, Goldberg was gassed. He didn't know what to do, and Regal just whooped him. He eventually lost to him. Obviously, he put him over with the spear and the jackhammer, but I mean, he just exposed him for not knowing how to wrestle. And, Goldberg still hates Regal for that, but Regal was like, look, I'm a wrestler. He was not. And I had to kind of just put him on blast basically. And it was crazy. And I remember watching
That's
that
one-
and not even thinking about it until after the fact,
If something ever happens to Goldberg or he comes up missing, how quickly do you think they arrest once again Bret Hart?
7 sleeper holds. 7 sleeper holds, Rick. 7 sleeper holds.
Let's say an hour. They got him already under surveillance.
Austin was just all character. I mean,
yeah.
I mean? He was just all character, and we all loved him. We all felt like we could relate to him. He was drinking beer on stage.
F you to your boss. That's what it was. Everybody was just like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
he was the blue collar guy.
Yeah, like he's up here for sure, but like in reality, like he's not going toe to toe with Kane. Like, come on, like nobody believes that in real life.
No, not in real life. No.
My favorite all-time jacket from a tag team, the Rock and Sock Connection. I think those satin black and white jackets, I know this is completely off subject, but it just hit me. I think those are the coolest jackets in the world. You couldn't get better
What
merch
color
than
are
that.
they? Red and white? Are they red and white jackets?
No, it was the black satin with the white lettering. I know what you
And
was
a
doing
red
there.
cardinal on it?
I knew what you was doing.
And a red cardinal?
I'm tired of this.
Cody's favorite wrestler was a Red Rooster. Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, because he's
funny
from
thing
Louisville.
is, I'm scared of birds. Like, deathly scared of birds. Like, it's bad. It's bad, man. It's real bad.
So Coco Beware was probably not your favorite wrestler.
No. Like, chickens, dude, they scared the shit out of me. Like, bad. It's rough, man. I'm telling you. Like the other day, me and the old lady was driving, and this bird, I swear to God, this bird came right on the windshield, and I jerked that wheel, and I laid back. Ugh. She goes, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "That bird, it almost got us." I used to get chased off the bus by a rooster, man. It scarred me. It scarred me bad.
That's some southern shit.
It would hide behind bushes. I swear to God. I'd get off the school bus and that thing would hide behind the bush at the end of my driveway, and I'd walk by and it would chase me all the way until I got inside.
Cody, I hate to tell you this, bud, but you're about to get bombarded in the Discord chat with a whole bunch of bird memes.
I'm about to. All I'm picturing in my head is Cody and the chicken from Family Guy that like fights Peter Griffin every couple of years, but it's Cody versus the rooster.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, there's video, man, and it's bad. My mom pisses herself because she's laughing so hard and she's not even helping me. The rooster's just chasing me. It's
That's
so
great.
bad. And like, those like wooden swings, they have the A-frame and then it just free swinging. I jumped on top of that, think I was getting away. Well, it flipped on me and I flipped on the ground and I swear to God, that rooster came up under that thing and just flogged the hell out of me. It was bad. It was
Oh,
bad.
Jesus.
Oh man.
I need
Thank
this
you for
video.
sharing that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. One
now
man's
this really
video.
raises the question: is Cody's hate for Louisville because it's Louisville, or because he hates birds?
Bird, yes.
Bird.
Yes.
A little bit of both,
Bird is the
baby.
word.
Wow.
Figured it out.
And now
Is
we
that
found the root
is that
cause.
your least favorite Bob Marley song too? Three Little Birds. You don't like that song?
No, if I hear a bird, I'm like, it's like, it's flashbacks, man. It's like PTSD almost.
Cody hears "bird is the word" and he starts going in the fetal position, like with his hands up, like trying to figure it out.
Oh, Cody, why'd you say that? You're gonna. Oh, I never almost get to the end of that. Well,
Don't
we are a
worry, this
wrestling
won't.
podcast. Birds of War. Well, that's a little secret nugget, but
Cody, don't worry, this won't be a burden on you.
uh, uh-huh.
Oh, I'll see if I can find that video.
Content manager, would you like me to wrap up this great conversation we've been having for the last hour plus about wrestling, or?
I would, please. Thank you.
Okay.
It was great, though.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was not our surprise, but we did have a surprise, and there you go. So, once again, last week you had Patrick Brady talking about bare knuckle boxing and all kinds of stuff and beating the crap out of people and answering and talking about his addiction and recovery and having a great conversation with us. Again, this week, we were able to pull back the curtain and get the Wizard of Oz to come out and play with us and talk about wrestling because, see, isn't it fun? So every week we're going to have something different. So again, stay tuned, keep watching. Next week, we may have a special guest. I'm not even going to say who or what because it might not happen. But if it does, extra surprise. So, gentlemen, thank you. I had fun tonight.
Had a blast.
Always a blast.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna go cry myself to sleep reliving that story.
I hope you have fun editing this video.
Watch out for the birds.
I need to find my pillow.
Thank you, fellas.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom.